From Washington, this is VOA News. I'm Victor Beattie reporting the United Nations is calling for an international inquiry into Saturday's airstrike in Yemen for possible war crimes. That strike hit a funeral gathering in the capital Sanaa, killing more than 140, wounding hundreds. The Saudi-led coalition is suspected. Riyadh has launched an investigation. Secretary General Ban Ki-moon denounced the attack.
Saturday's funeral bombing was a heartless attack on civilians and an outrageous violation of international humanitarian law.
The UN human rights chief, Zeid Ra'ad Al-Hussein, renewed his call for an investigation, saying the bombing of a funeral cannot go unpunished. His spokesperson is Ravina Shamdasani.
He is calling on the international community to take action. The High Commissioner regrets that the Human Rights Council in 2 successive years has dismissed the High Commissioner's call for an independent international inquiry into the allegations of serious human rights violations and violations of international humanitarian law in Yemen.
The UN envoy to Yemen, Ismail Ould Sheikh Ahmed, said in his words, everything possible must be done to ensure the authors of these heinous attacks face justice. Ethiopia is blaming regional rival Egypt for supporting rebels of the Oromo Liberation Front, or OLF, amid an uptick in anti-government unrest that prompted Addis Ababa to declare a state of emergency Sunday. Getachew Reda is a government spokesman.
The terrorist group OLF has been receiving all kinds of support from Egypt. Its leaders have been feted. It used to be in Asmara, now they are feted in Cairo. And of course, they have been given all kinds of instructions to destabilize this country.
Egypt has denied supporting the Ethiopian rebels. Rights and opposition activists say at least 400 have been killed in anti-government protests in the past year. This is VOA News. French Foreign Minister Jean-Marc Ayrault joined UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon Monday, calling on the International Criminal Court to investigate possible war crimes by Russia in Syria. He referred to airstrikes that have killed civilians in rebel-held Aleppo. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry made a similar appeal for an international probe last week. The UN has called for a massive response to the humanitarian crisis that's unfolding in Haiti following last week's major hurricane that killed hundreds and destroyed homes and crops on a wide scale. Rudolf Muller directs the Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs in Geneva.
The government of Haiti and the humanitarian countries team Flash Appeal seeks to provide life-saving assistance and protection to 750,000 people out of 1.4 million people in need over the next 3 months. To do so, we urgently need to mobilize $119 million.
The funds will be used to provide food, drinking water, and shelter. The hurricane, named Matthew, slammed into Haiti, impacted the Dominican Republic, the Bahamas, and Cuba Tuesday and Wednesday, leaving widespread death and destruction, considered the worst such storm in the Caribbean in a decade. British-born Oliver Hart and Bengt Holmström of Finland jointly won the 2016 Nobel Prize for Economics for their work on contract theory, with implications in the areas of corporate governance, bankruptcy law, and political constitutions. Holmström, a professor of economics and management at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, said he was grateful to receive the prize.
It's of course very gratifying to get this prize, but at the same time one understands that there are a lot of deserving people.
Hart is an economics professor at Harvard. The 9 academics receiving Nobel Prizes this year included 5 Britons, a Frenchman, a Finn, a Dutchman, and a Japanese. 6 of them are based at U.S. universities. Islamic State has confirmed the death of one of its most senior leaders, whom the Pentagon said was killed last month in a precision airstrike near Raqqa, Syria. The IS statement praised Wa'il Adil Hassan Salman al-Fayyad, also known as Abu Muhammad al-Furqan. He was the militant group's Minister of Information, overseeing its propaganda. Burundi has banned 3 UN investigators from its territory. They're linked to a report identifying Burundian officials suspected of ordering political opposition members to be tortured or killed. The 3 had reported gross rights violations in the wake of last year's decision by President Pierre Nkurunziza to seek an unconstitutional 3rd term. South Korean-based electronics giant Samsung has halted sales of its Galaxy Note 7 smartphone after a second statement released Monday about its replacement of the original product was also overheating and possibly catching fire. Samsung has already recalled 2.5 million phones. I'm Victor Beattie, VOA News.
That's the latest world news from VOA.